Well, this sucks. I've got some really bad news about to spring on the boys. Come on with me.
It had a 2.7 liter, and that was kind of like proof positive that they're
like an F-150 work. Right.
Hey guys,
What?
got some bad news, really bad news.
What the heck happened?
We can never use Goldmine Hill again.
What?
Yeah.
But
You know our standard go-to small crossover SUV test that we've been doing for what, the last 5 years?
6 years, 7 years. Even?
2013, I think, was the first one.
Yeah, we could. It's done. We've done our last one. We can never do again.
What did you do?
You know what? Let me show you. I think it's better if you actually see it for yourselves. So, you guys got some time?
Yeah.
Let's take it right over there. I'll give you.
This is not a joke, right?
Not a joke. This is serious.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's go have a look. All right, boys, before we take it all the way to Goldmine Hill, why don't we stop at our previous off-road location that we used to use all the time? Remember that, Nathan?
Yeah, I do. And that place was pretty rough.
Yeah, that place was rough, but it was really cool. And kind of show you guys what happened there. And then, since it's on the way, let's see if the snow has cleared off of Cliffhanger 2.0 and see if we can actually use that.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Well, our previous location is a left-hand OHV trail.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And it was washed away in a 1,000-year flood.
Yeah, and it's never to be opened again.
Well, let's see. I mean, maybe they've opened it up again.
Okay.
It's on the
Fingers
way.
crossed.
It's been 6 years. It's been 6 years.
Okay,
But
let's see.
It's kind of a walk down memory lane. Remember when we took the Suzuki SX4 up there?
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
This is Roman Micah, and this is a Suzuki SX4. It becomes a dirt bike and a Jeep trail the farther up we go, and it's starting to get a little bit dicey here. You can tell that there's a lot more rocks that are outcropping.
I remember some great stuff we did with some modified Jeeps up there.
Oh, Big Mama.
Yeah, Big Mama.
Wasn't that the trail, Big Mama?
Yeah, we nearly wiped out poor Tommy.
And
Yeah.
Tommy almost caught a rock in the head.
Yeah, about the size of his head.
That's when you were driving the Hellcat Jeep, Nathan.
Yeah, I was driving the Hellcat Jeep. The rock had nothing to do with me, though.
That was when it buckled up like a fucking Bronco.
Yeah, it reared up and it was crazy. Did it all on its own. It was a strange vehicle.
And then came down sideways and threw a rock at 90 degrees.
Somehow it threw a rock. It was, once again, nutty stuff. But that whole,
Would you say it was more of a boulder, Nathan?
It was pretty big. Yeah, at the time, Tommy was under 90 pounds, so that rock was more than him.
But that way is what, Nathan?
That way's a Big Mama!
That's right, and we're going to take these bad Jeeps up one of the hardest trails here and see how they do with all the off-road gear.
I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I think we might be winching a little bit. We'll see.
We'll see. It's not that hard to get up most hills in a Jeep, especially one with this much body armor, with this much tire, with this much engine, and this much gearing. Oh my God, it's just incredible. I know I'm very enthusiastic, guys, and I sound like a schoolgirl, but you know what? If you were here, you would feel the same way.
But I missed that trail, and
Me too.
when they closed that's when we had to go find something else, and now we're in this position where we're going to have to find something else again, and you'll see why. But let's head over to the old haunting and stomping grounds first.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, that's a sad sight.
That's a sad sight. Look, you still have the close sign from when they closed it.
So all the water came up and over the bank, came rushing down the hill too. Andre strong! Andre lift broken sign! Nice.
Like a bear, like a Russian bear.
Look at this. This is what the whole area looked like. Destroyed, fencing everywhere.
Look, now we've got a no shooting and no motor vehicles anymore.
It's basically a walk down memory lane. Remember when we also got stuck here in the snow a couple times?
Yeah.
We had some misadventures here as well.
Back up. Hold on. Try going backwards. Hold on, Nathan. We are close to going off road
Yes, I
here.
know, I feel it.
We are very close to going off and having to get a...
I'm gonna have to go back, straight back.
Yeah, just very slowly, because you're gonna go off this road, Nathan. Very slowly. We are close to going over into
this.
this ditch. So hold on here. Hold on. I'm gonna give you a push. Don't do anything yet.
So this is basically where the trail was, right here.
Yeah, this was like the gatekeeper, right? You had to be able to get through this part
In order to keep moving.
So this whole area was covered with boulders, giant boulders, which are now over there. You could see that they're literally pushed over. Trees, broken signs. It's pretty sad.
Washed away.
I bet you we took what? Hundreds of cars, 50 cars up here, and
More than that.
and
Probably
trucks
100
too.
cars.
And
Yeah.
the most memorable was what? That was it a Hyundai that we almost sank, where the water went over the roof?
That was a Kia.
Was it Kia?
But it did really well.
Yeah. There's a big rock there. Keep going nice and slow, I'll tell you. You're good, you're good. You're good. Keep going. Oh yeah, plenty of ground clearance. 7.3 inches. Look at that. And because this place closing is kind of the reason we came up with the off-road index, right? The TFL ORI, because it allows you guys at home to judge your vehicles without actually having to ever take them off-road. So you can actually decide if you want to buy it before you leave the dealership. But let's talk about that in the car, because there's a lot of questions people have about them, and I want to answer the ORI specific questions that you guys have put in the comments. Guys, TFL Off-Road Index, or ORI, is a way for you guys out there to see how off-road worthy your vehicle is before you ever buy it. So why don't we cut to that video of kind of me explaining it in the conference room.
Sure.
And then when we get back, I'm going to discuss the 3 big questions that people have put in the comments section and 3 suggestions and why we don't implement them. TFL Off-Road Index, or the TFL ORI, is based on a scale of 0 to 100, with 0 being a NASCAR with slicks on its ability to go off-road, and 100 being the perfect off-roader. So let's kind of break down how we get to those numbers. First and foremost, we assign 20 points for either having all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. If the vehicle has a transfer case, that's an additional 20 points. If it doesn't have a transfer case, but it has terrain management, then we give it 5 points. All-terrain tires get you 10 points. If it has 9 inches or more of ground clearance, and that can either be from the factory or with air suspension that gets you over that amount, you get an additional 5 points. Diff locks, 5 points for the front, 5 points for center, 5 points for the rear. Very similar with armor, except that if you have front, center, and rear armor, you only get 3 points for each of those. Now, let's talk about approach, departure, and breakover angle. If you meet a 25-degree minimum standard, then you get, once again, 5, 5, and 5 for approach, breakover, and departure. Now, finally, if you have rear-facing cameras, then you'll end up with nothing. But if you have front-facing cameras, because rear-facing cameras are basically mandated now, you get 5 points. And finally, we're allowing 1 point for subjective opinion. In other words, what we think of it. And that is a total of 100, or the perfect off-roader. And to put that in perspective, we figure that a score of 30 or so gets you the ability to go up Goldmine Hill. If you get a score of 50 or more, it's basically an overlanding rig. It's something that's dirt worthy and can be used regularly off-road. Now, if you reach 70, that means that your vehicle is probably Moab ready, so you can do things like Hell's Revenge. These are very serious off-roaders. Now we're talking about actually boulder bashing and not just going over fields and streams and such. And finally, if you get to 99 points, you're probably ready to take on the Rubicon Trail. And as far as we know, there is no vehicle that gets 100 points or a perfect score that is at least from the factory. You probably get there if you lift or if you add bigger tires and wheels, but this is only applied to vehicles that are fresh from the factory. All right, so the three biggest comments we get are, number one is, why don't we use suspension travel or wheel travel as part of the ORI, Andre?
Well, there's only probably one truck that's actually published by the manufacturer. Those numbers are published for, and that's the Raptor. You know, because they're very proud of the off-road ability of that truck. But other manufacturers for crossovers and SUVs, they don't publish that.
Yeah, and so if you guys are trying to figure out what your vehicle's ORI is, you won't be able to do it because you can't get that number.
No.
So we can't use it. So the next big question that people have is, why don't we use the RTI, which is what, boys?
Ramp Travel Index.
As part of the ORI. So why don't we do that?
Well, because finding a ramp and actually testing a vehicle is actually a big deal.
Yeah, and the other problem is, especially with crossovers, just the approach alone will destroy half of the front ends on those vehicles, and so we don't want to break them. What we do, but we don't want to do it on camera.
Well, and the people at home can't get at it, and it's dangerous, right?
It is. It is actually very dangerous. Do not go on to an RTI if you're going to screw around, because you could roll your vehicle.
Yeah, you could.
I've seen videos of people doing that.
I have too.
And then the third question that we get is, why don't we include what this vehicle has, which is actually a dislockable front sway bar in the ORI index? And the reason for that, Andre, is...
Are you talking about the disconnecting sway bar?
Yeah, why don't we include that?
Because there's only 3 vehicles that has this.
Yeah, and they're all FCA products.
This
right?
Wrangler,
the
Gladiator truck, and the Power Wagon.
And of course, Nathan's...
Power Wagon!
Yep, that's right. And so Toyotas don't have it, Fords don't have it, GMs don't have it, Hondas don't have it. So what's the point?
The Subaru has it?
Subaru doesn't have it.
Not even Subaru. Crazy.
So what will be the point? And once again, you know, it's really about you being able to do this at home and scoring your own vehicle. And then, of course, the final question is, why don't we include vehicles that then have been like somehow lifted or, you know, done upright for off-roading?
Well, those are one-offs.
Yeah, and
they're all unique.
Yeah, and this is only an index for factory stock vehicles, because you would quickly get past the 100 points, you know, perfect score if you started lifting things and adding lockers and winches,
cages, all this stuff.
All that stuff, yeah. Cliffhanger 2.0 is open for business.
Heck yeah!
But
which business?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? There's a problem with this if you want to use it as kind of a test for crossovers and SUVs. Now we're talking about any vehicle that like is below a 30 on the TFL ORI. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm already starting to struggle.
This is a Rubicon.
This is a Rubicon.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm only in 2-wheel drive, but
Cliffhanger 2.0. It's been a long winter. Nice.
Now, we had problems just in this section alone when we were with the Jeep Renegade.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was the Trailhawk, and it's a decent little off-roader, but the ground clearance, it wasn't doing it. Now the new one, maybe it'll do a little bit better, but just in this area alone, it's too much for most crossovers.
The first part of the Cliffhanger 2.0 is a bit rocky. Not too steep yet, but it gets steeper and rockier as you go. I have 8.7 inches of ground clearance, which is always good. I'm going around some of these rocks. Okay, I really have to plan my line, and it's getting rockier and rockier. I'm floored, but the system is cutting power. All right, I'm stuck. So we tried bringing a Jeep Renegade Trailhawk up here once, and we got stuck about here because we have a lot of loose rock and it's very steep and you have to have good clearance. Well, let me show you up by Truth and Dare what happens. This fork in the road we call Truth and Dare. Truth on this side, Dare on this side, because it's rockier, it's steeper, it's more difficult, and the angle is around 20 degrees, maybe more than 20 degrees. So
That right there is an example of what the problem is.
It's a tiny rock.
Well, it's a tiny rock that when you roll over it can pop upwards. Now,
Yes.
if you don't have this much ground clearance, you're in
It'll
trouble.
puncture something below.
Right. This is why we can't use this as the next Goldmine Hill when it comes to crossovers.
But you know what? I got a little bit of a secret. I think after I show you Goldmine Hill, I think we have a new place that we can start using.
Ooh.
So instead of going all the way top, which we've basically done in a JL already,
Right.
let's turn around and let's get to Goldmine Hill and show you what the problem is.
Yeah, daylight is burning.
Okay, yeah, should we
Okay,
go?
let's go.
All right, boys, we are
Yep.
at the trailhead for the Switzerland Trail, which is the start of our little trek, usually to Goldmine Hill.
Well, this is very familiar. This is what we do.
Yeah, this is what we do. We've come up here, I would say, hundreds of times now.
Easily.
Easily, yeah. Unfortunately, this may be our last time.
No, don't say that.
Well, you shall soon see why. So I was up here riding around on my dirt bike, scoping out all these trails, and I was shocked first to find, well, I'm gonna throw it up here so these guys can see it at home. This is this is a sign that I saw, took a picture of it, and then I came back here again this week to find something even more, well, dramatic. And
Okay.
you shall see it in a second here, guys. We're riding the turn.
Alrighty.
And behold, there is the
What?
entrance to Switzerland Trail. Yep.
No!
Yep. Looky there.
It's a gigantic fence.
Yeah, looky there. And the worst part about this is, Andre, it's not just down here, it's also at the two exits on top.
Oh! Goldmine Hill! This is a sad episode because we saw Left Hand Canyon, which closed because of a flood. Now this.
Let's do a little thing here. T F L was here. Sorry.
This is a great place to test, guys. You have to understand the logistics about getting here, having our cameramen in certain places, being able to bring up almost any vehicle up part of this hill. All of that was great. So
I need momentum, but it's so tight right here. It is so tight that just a little bit of sideways angle and this truck is gonna roll into a tree, just like that. No? Can't make the turn, huh? The nice thing about having this long cable, you can actually do it from behind the wheel of the truck. So if you're out here by yourself and you did something as stupid as I just did, then you could potentially self-rescue. We're so close over there. I think we're probably inches away from actually hitting the tree in the back.
We've taken a lot of vehicles up this Goldmine Hill, but we've never taken a vehicle quite this old or with so many miles, I think. Come on, Aztec. This is the second stage, which is a tough turn.
yeah,
It's off
kilter.
off camber.
I have
come on.
the foot all the way down.
Really?
It's doing it. We did it.
Wow!
Not very easily. I know you guys think I don't take these things seriously. I do. I find it's important to make sure your spirit is blended in. And I'm just gonna leave it in first. Okay. Let's do a little more. Oh, hey! Woo! Ah! Once again. Power! That's not power, but it did well. It's a good little guy. This really did the charm, you know? It's just good luck.
Well, we always try to give back and clean up. And it's amazing sometimes what you could find here. Metal, plastic, bullets, casings. But we just try to give back, that's all.
So leave nothing behind, guys, but flowers, right? That's the rule.
Oh, wait. Hold on, we forgot.
Oh, dude, oh, that's gross, man. Oh,
It's paper.
America is totally okay, man.
Oh, God. You know what kind of paper that was, Andre?
I don't know, but it's no longer there.
Yeah. You go wash your hands when you get home.
Yeah, you're not shaking my hand. No more back scratches.
Bye, Goldmine Hill.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Farewell.
Sayonara.
So long.
Adios.
Until we meet again. I have found a new place.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Rocky Top.
Rocky Top.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, let's take a ride up there. I'll show you the new Goldmine Hill, or as we will now call it,
The Rocky Top.
the Rocky Top, because it is a rocky top. Okay. We're very literal here. Goldmine Hill, Rocky Top. Well, boys, up there is Rocky Top. You know why?
No.
Because it's rocky and it's the top of a mountain.
Fair enough.
So Goldmine Hill had 3 stages. How many stages do we have here?
We have 2 stages, Andre, only 2.
Okay.
And of course, we're going to drive the Wrangler up there. So the question that I'm thinking about is if the Wrangler can make it in 2-wheel drive, then it's probably doable for a regular old crossover in all-wheel drive.
That's fair.
It looks like there's some articulation right about there, about 100 feet from us.
Yeah, I think that's where we stop, right?
Yeah.
That'll be the end of stage 1, and then we stop at the articulation point and go on to stage 2. Well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So guys, the Wrangler has an ORI well into the 80s. In other words, hell's revenge worthy. Which means this should be relatively cake for it, right?
Okay.
So I'm not putting anything into anything but 2-wheel drive, 4-high.
Okay.
And if we get stuck, that's a good sign.
Yeah, well, let's see how difficult this is.
Yeah. It's rocky. Not,
Kind of toppy.
yeah, it's pretty
No.
steep.
You can lose traction here pretty easily with the
Yeah.
regular all-wheel drive system.
Yeah.
Crap tires.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have BFGs, KO2s.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking about the other vehicles.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm actually hoping the Wrangler gets stuck because that would be a good sign that it's getting pretty steep and pretty gnarly.
This would be the first mini obstacle for us, a low crossover.
Right here, yeah.
Right
let's-
here. See?
Ooh. Wait a minute, what?
Ooh, we almost
Okay.
got stuck.
Okay, we'll keep going.
We almost got stuck. A little bit of wheel spin.
So that'd be a little bit of a challenge.
That'd be a little bit. This section would be a little bit of a challenge right here.
Right? All right, here he comes in 2-wheel drive. Now, if you look here, the problem is he's got rock to go over. 2-wheel drive is going to be rough on this type of rock because there's sand on top of it. And it's a slippery surface. Then you've got that root over there, which is in the rut. Now, I'm about 3.5 to 4 feet higher than that rut.
Pretty good size. We don't want to make it too. We don't want to make it too easy. I'm already stuck.
We're stuck already, we're stuck!
Shoot me!
They're stuck. So they're going to have to go to 4-wheel drive.
All right, I'm going to 4. I'm going to 4 high. Okay, 4 high it is.
Okay.
Here,
We could also use 4 low if we wanted to. There it is.
it's 4 high.
We're even higher than Goldmine Hill up here. Over 9,000 feet. See?
Actually, this is pretty challenging, dude.
So they actually have to hit that at a bit of momentum. What part of momentum was... Try it again. You can see where they're losing traction. Yeah, keep going, put it in.
With no lockers, dude.
Open
There's
diffs.
that root right there.
We didn't engage our lockers yet.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Which is probably a good thing because,
So see, it's kind of tight in here.
yeah, it is kind of tight. This is a good test of kind of,
Maneuverability.
yeah, maneuverability. Exactly.
That's a lot of articulation. That's going to be really hard for a lot of crossovers. However, if you take it this direction up and around, you might be able to make it. But this is definitely going to be one of those that's going to be difficult for a lot of crossovers.
So over here we come to a fork in the trail, which is very similar to Cliffhanger 2.0. Really hard rocky section right there. Much easier section here. And I think for crossovers, this is goodness because you can take the easier section, or if you have a really beefy SUV, maybe you could try the hard one.
All right, I'll do the hard one.
Okay.
I'll go 4 low.
All right, so crossovers, basic crossovers could go right,
Yeah.
but tough vehicles like this could go left.
All right, I'll go.
We'll go left.
We'll go left. Let's go give it a try. Now I'm in 4 low, so now we're using the engine to give us a little bit more torque, using the transfer case. Of course, we don't have anything locked. I don't think we need anything locked at this point. Here we go. Yeah, we're ready to go.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
But then again, the Wrangler didn't care on the third obstacle
Yeah.
at Goldmine Hills, so we're fine.
The Rubicon made it look very easy. But for a crossover, no way.
So I think the payoff is right here. We're at the top. Look, there's a little
A radio tower.
there's a little radio tower up here. Yeah.
I wonder if I can get cell service.
You know, it looks like a little it looks like a little science station.
Well, I mean, there's only, what, half a dozen universities within a stone's throw distance of where we are right now, so...
Yeah, I think that's a little science station, dude.
You can ask
Radio tower.
Andre. Andre
Yeah.
would know.
Oh, there's somebody else here with a Wrangler already. Look at that.
He's probably laughing at our progress.
This is really kind of a science station up here, huh?
Yeah, what are they measuring, Andre?
You know, you're the scientist.
They're measuring all kinds of stuff. Wind temperature, wind direction, everything.
Hey guys, check it out. It's got a really nice, I'm gonna call it the Boulder Peak. You can kind of peek down on Boulder right from here.
Yes, it's the top and it's rocky.
It's kind of got 2 parts to the top.
Really?
The man-big
said-
conversation has gone way too far.
I was just saying it had... Oh, God.
Any man-big conversation eventually ends up at 2 mounds.
I'm just trying to... Now there's thunder and lightning. Thank you, Andre.
I attract lightning,
Yeah,
actually.
this is not good, guys. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We're still officially bummed about Goldmine Hill, but let us know what you think of Rocky Top in the comments below. And as always, this is
Nathan?
Andre.
and Roman saying thanks for watching. And remember, check out what, Andre?
TFLcar.com, and of course TFL Truck and TFL Off-Road for reviews.
Yeah, that's right.